We may be looking at one of the biggest resets in modern history. You know, the global mindset has been pushing for this Agenda 2030, but there's a little bit something different happening. You're starting to see the mindset change to Agenda 47 or even Project 2025. Now, Trump pushes away from that, but what I do love to see is that people are coming back around to common sense once more. Now, this is also a warning to people of faith. They're coming for you. You don't believe it? Let's talk about what they're talking about with Pete Hegseth. One of the main reasons they say he is unprepared or ill-equipped is because of his Christian tattoos. You hear that even with Mike Huckabee, how he's just so pro-Christian and pro-Israel, pro-Bible, that it's too much. But there's a new study out that shows that most young men are turning back to faith and common sense. Are we seeing a reset that is actually what we want? It's amazing that Yuval Harari with WEF said that if Trump won, that it would be the end of this global push for reset. And that's just what's happening. Let's talk about some of these stories today that are absolutely great news. But we have to heed the warning that when things look like they're going great, they're actually just preparing another attack against us, i.e., Christians and conservatives. Are we ready to stand up? Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that's okay, but let us know what you think about the content of today's video. Now today's video, we're gonna just be talking a little bit, more my personal opinion about some of the stories. Now I know I do that every day, but this one is a little bit more personal to me because as a Christian conservative and as I've been talking about things for, well over a decade, it seems like we're actually starting to see a movement back to normalcy. Now, does that mean everything is going to be perfect? No, I even made comments yesterday about the fact that, my gosh, our economy is in shambles. And what they're actually giving Trump is a really bad economy. It's really going to be tough for him to pull it back around. But again, I do believe that even through tough times, we can get there. But it's going to take us staying steady. Now, a few things to think about. First and foremost, there's some game changers when it comes to these appointments. I think you're seeing Matt Gaetz, who's going to be a very staunch attorney general, who is going to be willing to be the quote-unquote punchable face, the one that everybody deems to hate of the establishment, but he is going to absolutely rock it with the DOJ, and I believe he's going to bring a lot of, I wouldn't say retaliatory, but I believe he's going to bring a lot of things that were done wrong, he's going to set right. Trump just came out and said that he is doing a $10 billion lawsuit against the biggest legacy media for really targeting him. And I believe that he would absolutely win this argument because, look at the rhetoric they used against this man. Not only that, his appointment with RFK, that is a major reset when it comes to HHS and Health and Human Services. Look at the stock of the pharmaceuticals. They tanked. Every one of them were in double-digit tanking. CEOs are threatening to leave. The boards are struggling. They're in panic. That is the kind of reset that we're wanting. This is a time where we can truly reset America for the best. The Make America Healthy Again, the MAHA movement that RFK has done. Now again, I told you once before, he is still too liberal for me when it comes to some of his social issues. But this could be a chance where the part of bad crops, of bad food. You're sitting over our kitchen garden here. We believe in clean diets. We believe in eating healthy. We believe that our bodies are supposed to be utilized for good and making sure that we're trying to do all we can to utmost take care of it. Again, as a Christian too. I just got done running. That's things that we do because we believe in a healthier environment. We believe that a lot of the cancers and diseases and issues are because of our food system is broken. So this is a reset that I think is huge. Now even rhinos, Republicans, of course Democrats, are up in arms about this appointment, just like Gaetz with RFK. What's actually happening is you're seeing the establishment scared to flipping death over these appointments. Let's talk about Huckabee. As a Christian conservative, this is probably one of my top picks Now, this is just one of those, I would say, normal picks. I mean, who is an ambassador to Israel? You know, all these ambassadors that get appointed pretty much go under the radar. But as a conservative Christian who believes in the Holy Land, who believes biblically of what's going on, Huckabee is extremely conservative when it comes to taking care and being the ally with Israel. Even his thought on Palestine. To me, this is probably one of the best picks as a conservative Christian. Again, Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth has 2 or 3 tattoos on him that represents his faith. Now, him and Mike Huckabee have been almost brought through the ringers, not over, you know, their Fox News affiliations, not over, you know, the fact that they have kids in politics, or Pete Hegseth having 6 or 7 kids, not over being young, not over being a pastor like Huckabee. They're actually getting raked over the coals because of their Christian views. And as the world sees it, that's the persecution that they're wanting to come for. Did you see that Louisiana is trying to put a 10th Commandment bill back in? Did you see that Oklahoma is putting the Bible back in schools? So the tide is turning, and you're starting to see a shift that is not saying that this is a pro-Christian movement. I hope it is. I would love to see a major revival happen. But what you're starting to see is the freedom in the environment. See, that's the point of government. It's not to make jobs. It's to make the environment for businesses to make jobs, for entrepreneurs to make jobs. It's not the fact that they can grow the economy. The government's not supposed to grow the economy. They're supposed to make the environment for businesses to grow the economy. They're not supposed to add tons of public sector jobs. They're supposed to make the environment for people to hire and make jobs. Same way with freedom. They're not supposed to impose anything on you. They're supposed to give you the environment to have the freedoms that Americans have wanted and have fought for so long. And that's our Christianity. That's our conservatism. That's our biblical leaning. There's a new study that shows that, again, 18 to 25-year-olds are turning back to faith. Men. You know, the old saying, you know, hard times create strong men create great times create really weak men, and weak men create hard times. I think we're in the point where we've realized the hard times, we've realized the chaos, we've realized the trouble. Now we're starting to build good men again. And when men see common sense, wisdom, and again, they came overwhelmingly out for Trump, but not only that, they're starting to come overwhelmingly out for family, overwhelmingly out for faith, overwhelmingly out for freedom. You don't believe this could make America great and have the reset that we've been wanting? You know how we change the world? We change America first. You know why Argentina and El Salvador and Hungary and Poland, you're starting to see these movements, even down to the Netherlands, you're starting to see these movements of better leadership across the world. It's because everybody is sick of the status quo. Everybody's sick of the establishment. Everybody's sick of this one world movement. Did you see Alex Soros and Bill Gates are both trying to congratulate Trump and trying to get close to him again? Now, this is the true test. This is one of those warnings that we need to heed. Now, yes, we see our friends and we keep our enemies closer even than our friends. However, we have to be very careful that they do not impact and try to change the trajectory of what is actually happening here. That's exactly what happened when we got off the gold standard. That's what exactly happened when we saw the socialist movements all throughout our last 100 years as a United States. The movement where people started implementing their wishes and their narcissism and their selfish wants onto us as Americans, into our leadership. And then, like the frog in the kettle, it slowly changes because the water's getting up, it's getting hotter, and by the time we look back, the frog is already in boiling water. We have to heed the warning, and I hope that Trump has gained enough wisdom to put the right people around him. He seems so far to be able to do that. Now, I'm not the biggest Rubio fan. However, he was one of the ones, if I'm not mistaken, the Gang of Eight that had a little bit more intelligence and knew the world a little bit different than most senators. So there could be a reason in there I don't see. I love the fact that there could be something secrecy going on with Gates and Trump about how and what they want to pursue over this coming agenda for this next 4 years. Also like the fact that Trump has nothing to lose. The man's an ultra billionaire. He's sitting at 78 years old. He can't be president again, and he's willing to fight. That's absolutely huge. There's no double term to worry about. This could be the time of a reset. and not the reset that Klaus and WEF was pushing for, or Bill Gates was pushing for. You know, Bill Gates came out last week and he was like, oh, we're going to block the sun with more chemicals. Well, all that's supposed to change because now you have different leadership over the EPA and HHS and, of course, in the White House. Now, FBI is another big step. Can Trump pull away from people like Mike Rogers, who's just, man, who's ridiculously in the establishment, and go with someone like a Kash Patel or someone like him? We need to keep making these appointments and these picks of people who support Trump or support freedom. Not necessarily best friends with Trump, they just tend to they tend to want the same things. Freedoms for Americans. When we have freedom, then it makes us be responsible. For the ones who wants to be responsible and wants to change the world, they're going to start doing it. Therefore, people like us that are conservative Christians who are trying to raise their own food, who's trying to do well by raising children and homeschooling and trying to make things happen that's going to make a better legacy for our kids, it brings great awareness. You know the people that are freaking out though? The establishment, the ones who want power, and also the people who are liberals or Democrats who want the government to give them everything that they believe they deserve. So they're not wanting to take responsibility. Well, here's the push for today. We see a lot of good things happen in the right trajectory. Now we see the fact that the bad economy is getting handed to Trump. We see the fact that rhinos are already starting to say they're not going to vote for some of these people. This is where we better be proactive. And if we see any of our Senate, any of our Republican congressmen get out of line, please primary them. Please stand against them. Do not let it lie, because what they're going to do is they're going to try to instill that establishment pushback. The deep state is not giving up. The establishment's not going to give up. They're going to keep targeting Christians. They're going to keep targeting the conservatism. They're going to keep targeting that these people are completely not ready for these roles that Trump's putting them into. But you know what? When the establishment pushes so far and so hard against the people that Trump is wanting to put in power, that actually gives me the most encouragement that these are the right choices for the job. Think about it. If these establishment and the people that's been in Washington can't fix Washington for the last 20 or 30, 40 years, and they're the ones that's actually causing the problems, don't you think that if we elect them again or put them back in power that we're going to keep seeing the same old, same old? Don't you want something different? Well, we have a chance for that. So now it's time to be proactive, stand up, and have a backbone to support it. Now this comes to our leaders. We have 2 years of really a strong Supreme Court for Trump. Trump in the White House. His appointments that are probably going to go through because Trump just crossed over 76 million when it comes to the popular vote. So it shows he's even stronger than he's ever been. Also the fact that we have the Senate and the majority of the House, and both of those are still more pro-Trump than not. The establishment is losing out. But now it comes down to we can't have sellouts anymore. We can't have weakness anymore. The Susan Collins, the Romneys, the Murkowskis, those kind of people need to be out of power. They don't need to be ranking. They don't need to have any say. It needs to be the ones that are up and coming that wants America great. If we want greatness, first and foremost, it takes us praying for this White House, praying for our nation. It takes us as Christian conservatives standing up on our morals and values and freedom. Not all these appointments and elected positions are as conservative and as staunch on their beliefs as we would want. But then all of a sudden you see people like Hedgeth, Huckabee, very conservative individuals that are being appointed. That is the best news that we can hear. Because, you know, just like yesterday, HHS, even though, again, RFK is a lot more liberal than I would want, he's for deregulation and he's for freedom. HHS yesterday came out that they were backing, again, this movement of gender changes for people. You're not going to have that when RFK runs in there and gets in there and changes things. I love the fact that some of this establishment people are resigning. FBI. I love the fact that Gensler's gone. I love the fact that all these DOJ attorneys and all these people in the Pentagon are wanting to leave because Gates and Hedgeth are coming in. That is music to our ears. Look, good things are happening, but do not take our eyes off the prize. And we have to look for the fact that these people are not going to give up. Whatever you're going to hear over the next few coming days and weeks, we cannot let it affect us and change our mindset, because to be honest with you, they're going to throw everything at Trump and his appointments, and they're going to bring up the most crazy, spewing the most garbage things that you can think of. And we have to be ready. A bad economy, turmoil across the world, things are still happening. But I believe we're putting the right people in place to help solve the problem. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are. I love seeing Christians being able to serve at higher capacities. People that are not just saying, well, I love faith and we love God. No, we have people who are Bible-believing Christians who are now serving. And that is key. J.D. Vance came out, even though J.D. Vance is probably, again, he's got a kind of a foul mouth, and I don't know how much he relies on his faith, but he came out in defense of Hedgeth, saying everybody's coming after his Christian faith. That makes him all the more reason that he could be the right person for the job. People to stand behind good leadership is key, and that's what we need. Now it's time for Senate and Republicans to make sure every one of these pass overwhelmingly. And let's quit playing games and let's start making America great, healthy, and better for our families. Guys, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Again, it's just my heart today. As a Christian, I believe we need to just press on. And things that happen could bring, don't get me wrong, we know that there's going to be tougher times in the world. We know that. But this is a shining light at the end of the tunnel that could come back and make for a great awakening and a great revival in America. And I'm excited about it. Let me know your thoughts. God bless.